Good evening, I'm Duke Root, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Nebraska football head coach Matt Rule spoke to the media today after another spring practice. The Huskers are in their third week of spring camp and have their first team-wide scrimmage on Saturday, which will be a great opportunity for Rule to see where the team is at early on.
It's just an assessment for where we are right now, right? I told the players before practice, a lot of them think in terms of spots, like, oh, I got my spot. No, I don't think about, honestly, I don't ever really believe until the guys played for you for a couple years, you really don't know who your starters are until like after game 2 sometimes. Like, you think someone's a starter, then you see them play and it's a little too big for them, or you see someone play and they're just so comfortable. So I don't really think in terms of spots. I think in terms of like development. And to me, there's like this line, okay, hey, he's good enough to win with. And so if you're above that line, you're going to play, right? Some weeks, I mean, we're in the Big Ten. We're playing in weather. We're playing on turf. Guys are going to get beat up. So you better have, not just 3 defensive line starters. You better have about 5 or 6. So I'm just trying to see where assess where they are right now. A big thing for me is, are they at the right position? What are their opportunities they should get moving forward? We really have to take a lot of time to work on our end-of-game 2-minute situations with the way the league runs, with our recent history, but also with really a sophomore quarterback in Heinrich who's only played 1 year, and 2 young quarterbacks and young receivers that we need a ton of the 2-minute reps. So we'll probably rep a lot of those situations first, and then when they're tired, go live and tackle and see if we can tackle and block.
We will hear more from the coach later on in the show. Today is the start of the 2024 Masters from Augusta National. Bryson DeChambeau is in the lead so far at 7 under, followed by Scotty Scheffler at 6 under, and a 3-way tie at third with Danny Willett, Nikolai Hogard, and Max Homa at 4 under. The men's Frozen Four began tonight with number 2 Boston University tied with number 3 Denver 1-1 at the start of the third period, and number 1 Boston College taking on Michigan in the second game. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 1 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Lifted to right, and drifting over near the line is Williams, and looking up, and it is gone. Wind blows it right out of here. It's a grand slam for Will Walsh. It's 5-0 Big Red. To the wall, reaches back, but it's gone! A 2-run home run for Ava Bradwell. A moonshot that just cleared the wall and left. And the Huskers take a 3-1 lead in the second.
The hitter now, the 1-0 pitch. Swings and lines one. Diving grab by Dylan Carey deep in the hole. Holy cow, what a play from DC.
The pitch from Chambers. Cope golfs one to center and deep. Going back Delgadillo, and it's gone! 3-run home run, Emerson Cope. Make it 5-2 Nebraska.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome into the show, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. I'm Jessica Coody. Greg Sharpe has the night off tonight, but we have got a great show lined up for you tonight. We're going to hear from Coach Rule and Donovan Raiola, who met with the media today, talk a little O-line. We're going to hear from Tristan Alvano, kicker, sophomore kicker, coming up here in hour number 2. And Cam Linhard, one of those defensive linemen that were true freshmen last year that really made a big impact on the defensive line. And our good friend Ben McLaughlin is going to stop by and help us preview the weekend, get set for baseball, because this is our final show of the week. We will have baseball on the network coming up for you starting tomorrow with the 4:30 pregame show. So we're going to dive into all of that. And Cole is back. We had some discussion at the end of last night's show. We're still in a little limbo if there's going to be a joke of the week or not. We'll keep you updated on that. But Cole is feeling better, and he is back in the studio, so we are glad to have him back and Duke with us here on this Thursday night. But let's get to it. Coach Rule met with the media today, so let's jump into another spring football practice report.
The 1890 Initiative presents the Nebraska Football Practice Report.
We're talking about practice.
Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com.
Also, Coach Rulligan meeting with the media and update on spring football, how everything's going. And, of course, one of the first questions he was asked was asking about the quarterback room and that separation. Is it something that he's constantly looking for here in the spring in that quarterback room?
Well, yeah, I'm always looking for. I'm always looking for separation, because that means one guy's doing a great job, and then usually what happens is the next guy catches him. We're all. He realizes, oh, I better pick it up. When you play with a great player, I'm not calling anyone a great player. I'm saying when you play with a great player, or you play with someone who's doing things that you're not doing, it usually forces you then to catch up. So like the first day. We have two freshman quarterbacks, kind of a unique deal, right? Used to not be unique, but, one guy comes out, flips the protection one day. The next guy, we have quarterbacks doing things in protections that I haven't had someone do in 11 years, in college football. So it just kind of builds a new normal, if that makes sense, right? Like you're doing something at a high level, I catch you. So, yeah, my job is to make sure that all the quarterbacks, all three and all five, we're not here to pick the starter. We're trying to make them all good enough to be the starter. We're trying to get them as good as possible. But separation shows that someone's achieving, and usually when you point it out, other guys, start to follow.
I love the shirt that he's wearing today. I actually, if you're watching on the YouTube stream, I asked him about it when he walked out, and that was from their coaches clinic. So I thought that was a pretty good looking shirt there. Okay, moving on now. Let's talk about the protection from the offensive line for those three quarterbacks. When I chatted with those guys last week, and especially the two freshmen, they both mentioned how helpful it's been to have that veteran group of offensive linemen ahead of them, how much they've helped them along. And actually chatted with Ben Scott today, and he mentioned that they're they want that. They want to help these guys along and help them however they can grow quickly and be able to run this offense. So here's Coach Rule's thoughts on the protection for those quarterbacks so far this spring.
I think it's been good. I think it's been really good. I mean, we've had a lot of protection errors at the running back position early on, with just guys who haven't really playing. I mean, Tony brings. I mean, if you can learn protection versus this group, some teams that you face in the season are not going to be quite as much. We don't play Michigan this year, but Wink Martindale's the defensive coordinator of Michigan, a man whom I truly respect, and we played him in the NFL, and it was like, all right, guys, if we can pick up blitzes this week, we should be good the rest of the year, because they just challenge you in every way. They're challenging us with all the pressures, and so sometimes they get home, sometimes we make mistakes. In terms of the pure just a one-on-one pass pro technique, I'd say we've gotten significantly better. And you have to, when you have Danny and Dylan in, you're protecting with a little different mindset than when you have Heinrich in, like last year when we had like a Chubb or a Jeff, guys who would, we're almost hoping to create some sort of interior seam. We're hoping that they come underneath and get them outside, let them see the field and run. These quarterbacks are elite at moving within the pocket, stepping up. So we truly want to build like an NFL Cup-style protection where we're never getting beat inside out, and trusting that the quarterback versus an edge rusher will step up. And so the defense doesn't like me very much sometimes because they're coming off the edge and yelling sack, and I'm laughing like, yeah, right. But I think all these little nuances are really important as we put together this year's team.
That's another thing Ben Scott said, that as all the different looks and as chaos, right? That's what the defense calls themselves. They say that it's chaos, and as chaotic as it was last year, going through it the second time around, they feel a little bit more comfortable, but it's still just such a great challenge for this offense, pushing them to get better every single day. All right, let's talk some running backs now. And of course, there are still those injuries with Ramir Johnson coming off his season-ending injury, Gabe Irvin coming off his season-ending injury, but still a room that they expect to have a lot of talent, a lot of guys that can contribute. So here is his thoughts on the running back room and how far he wants them to come along here in the next 2 weeks.
I think it's one of those deals where it's really going to be about the fall. I mean, I've seen what Ramir can do. And what I have to make the staff do is go back and watch the 21 Michigan game sometimes to see him when he was like the feature back. I don't know why he wasn't the feature back in 22, but he wasn't, so it was hard to see. Sometimes you can look at a guy like that, like, we should play him here, and you give him this limited role. Like Ramir was, lining up and taking outside zones against Michigan and slicing and dicing. I've seen Gabe at his best. I think we saw Emmett evolving into a guy that could take games over. When you look at the run he had at Purdue, you look at the run he had at the end of the game to set us up. I can't remember Maryland, Wisconsin. They had a run in both games to set us up on the last drive. He's getting ready to bust out. I'm a big fan of Ives. Since if you guys go look at it, every time I've talked about Quentin Ives, I believe he can be this, right? I believe he can be this. So this is a big camp for him. Whereas Emmett's trying to take the step into dominant player, Quentin's trying to take the step into, hey, I'm going to be here every day, know what to do, be healthy. And then Dante's in the same boat, right? Dante's trying to take the step into every down back. But the things I see that are positive are really positive. But I think a lot of that's going to come to fruition in the fall. If you're a team to me that has just one back that you play and he has 25-plus carries, you're not doing right by him, because he's going to be all beat up when it's his chance to go to the NFL. I mean, we've always wanted to have a 20-carry back and a 12-carry back and then a third. We want to play three guys. And we certainly look like we have enough guys to do that.
And Coach was also asked about the development of a young player in his program. There's a lot of guys that have even told me just even over the last year how much they've been able to grow under this staff. That is a recipe that Coach Rule and the guys that are with him that they believe in is the development part of it. And so, Coach Rule was asked about the path for a young player to evolve into something greater.
Well, it eerily goes back to the conversation about how the two quarterbacks are affecting each other, right? Like, this year we'll have some guys go in the draft, right? Maybe someone will get drafted. Maybe they won't. I'm hoping some guys get drafted. Next year, let's say we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys drafted. As a young player, when I practice every day against somebody and they're within my realm of potential and I watch them get drafted, it becomes much more possible for me to get drafted, if that makes sense. When I'm a non-scholarship player and I see other non-scholarship players bust their tail, wait for their turn, keep grinding, not complain, just fight, and eventually get rewarded, it tells me that, hey, that's possible, and then I now have a blueprint for what to do. And so I think both of those things are possible. It's just like, there's been players in the state sometimes in recruiting that some of the recruiting staff's like, well, I mean, I'll say, let's watch the film. He's good enough, right? He's a scholarship player. We evaluate them off the film. We have a film evaluation. And they'll say, well, he's a 4, and which means we think he'll be a multiple-year starter. And I'll say, well, then we should offer him a scholarship. They're like, well, I think maybe we can get him as a walk-on. I'm like, well, if all we do is offer players in the state of Nebraska walk-on opportunities, then every guy's going to grow up waiting to be dreaming of getting a walk-on opportunity. If we offer player scholarships, then guys have the dream of, well, maybe I could be a scholarship player. And we have some other guys, coming in as walk-ons too. So I just think it's really important that if you show the players, hey, if you're a non-scholarship player, walk-on, someday you'll do this. Hey, if you follow our process, someday you'll get drafted. Hey, if you come to our camps and you're a good player, we're going to offer you. They start to see that's possible, and then that's within their realm of possibility, if that makes sense.
Cool answer there. The last clip we want to play for you from the head coach was asking about the new AD, Troy Dannon, and how much he's been able to talk with him and what has been his perspective on him taking over this new role here at Nebraska so far.
Yeah, Troy's comes down every day. I've seen him every day. We've gone out to dinner a couple times. I've had a long history, not professional, but just kind of semi-professional and personal with Troy. I think the big thing with Troy is when you've seen it, when you've seen it at the highest of levels, right? When you've been to a team that just won the national championship, when you've been to a team in the group of 5 that's gone to those high levels, you know what it's supposed to look like, So if maybe I come in and I say, hey, we really need this, he has a perspective of, I know why we need this because everyone else has this. And so maybe some of the requests I make a lot of requests, maybe some of the requests I make don't seem quite as, crazy to him because he's seen a lot of people, been around a lot of things. But I think everything's gotten off to a good start. He's not just here for me; he's here for all the sports, and I'm sure he's trying to make his way around and get to know all the coaches and all the staff. But I'm really pleased with everything so far with Troy.
Yeah, we heard from Coach Bolt on Monday, who said he had a long chat and really appreciated the conversation he had with Troy Dannon. So he's certainly making his way around. And that was certainly one thing that he told me when I first sat down with him in Memphis when it was, I think, day 2 or 3 on the job, about how excited he is about the roster of coaches here that he's going to get to know and work with. All right, let's talk some offensive line now. Donovan Raiola also met with the media today, and let's start. The first clip we want to play for you is about Justin Evans, and he is now entering his 3rd season here, but his redshirt sophomore season, so coming off his redshirt freshman year, and he was a guy that came in and was really big on the offensive line when there were multiple injuries with Nuri Nueli and then with Ethan Piper and even Ben Scott, who went out a couple of different games. Justin Evans was the backup at center, and Ben Scott told me today he is really coming along and at that center position too, so he will be the backup behind Ben Scott as well. But Coach Raiola talks about how he could get a feel for how tough he was going to be, even back to when he was recruiting him.
There's ways to study that when you study a high school film. Just in general, if you see an offensive lineman on film hitting people, like not turning away or like looking blocks in, and they're willing to hit people, to me that shows a sign of toughness. So that's what you look for. And then obviously if you play hard, and then he was a wrestler and all those different things. So those are some things that you study on film.
All right, one of the big gets out of the transfer portal for this team this season was Micah Mazuka, who transferred from Florida, has significant experience playing in the SEC, went to Florida from Baylor, so is a very experienced veteran guy to bring into that group. And so Coach Raiola was asked about Mazuka's progression there in the O-line room.
Micah's improving every day. He's taking to the standard well. He's fitting in with the guys, and you just see improvements every day. He's obviously a experienced guy that's played a lot of games, but you just see him, working at things that we're working on, right? Because you come from a different place and different, techniques, and we do things a little different here. So, he's actually really taking to it, and he's improving every day, which is awesome to see.
Certainly need to have that depth, build that depth there with lots of guys that can play. Okay, so the spring setup, we've talked a lot about it over the last few weeks, the Husker Spring League or the Nebraska Spring League, where they split up into competitions. And so it's been a fun element that we've talked a lot about to the guys about. They seem to really enjoy it. So Coach Raiola was asked, has the spring setup been beneficial for him and his guys?
Absolutely. You learn how to play football by playing football. So getting live reps against defensive guys. And, the thing about playing offensive line is like the one, like, other positions, but it's the position you got to figure it out sometimes, right? And figure it out together and figure it out with one set of eyes. So, that's you can't take that away from all those reps that they're getting.
So the Huskers set to scrimmage coming up on Saturday, and so Coach Raiola was asked what are some of the things that he's going to be looking for in a live scrimmage.
Just figuring out solutions to what's going on out there. Seeing if we can. Zero penetration in the run game we talk about. If we give the backs the line of scrimmage, we may have a good play, and then obviously protecting the quarterback. So, and then you go out there and it's like a game, right? So they got to figure things out by themselves, right? It's not scripted. So, understanding situations, right? What's the situation? And, just going out there and playing together.
All right, so that is our practice report from today's media availability. We will also hear, I've got a couple of one-on-ones coming up for you. We're going to hear from the kicker, Tristan Alvano, and also Cam Linhard here in hour number 1. But I can't believe I even forgot to mention this off the top. We're going to hear from the big dog, Jeremiah Sirles. Had a chance to sit down with him. He went out to practice last week, and so he got a good feel for, today we're going to talk all things offense, but he certainly was taking in more of the offensive line and the quarterback. So we're going to dive into all of that with Jeremiah Sirles coming up next here on Sports Nightly. Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Woodhouse GMC is bringing you more. With every new GMC purchase from Woodhouse, we're including 3 years of scheduled maintenance. Plus, with our current lease offers going on now, you'll save even more. Lease a 2024 GMC Terrain SLE for $397 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year. $0 due at signing. Woodhouse GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit, must finance with GM Financial. Must currently lease a 2019 or newer Buick or GMC vehicle to qualify. Offer expires April 30th, 2024. See dealer for details.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at gosarpy.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at gosarpy.com.
Tickets are on sale now for the Hy-Vee IndyCar Race Weekend Concert Series. Saturday, July 13th, see Luke Combs and Eric Church. And Sunday, July 14th, see Post Malone and Kelsey Ballerini live in concert. One ticket per day gets you into a race and 2 concerts. Tickets on sale now at HyVeeIndyCarWeekend.com.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. I'm Jessica Coody, and this week I got a chance to sit down with one of our analysts here on the Huskers Radio Network, Jeremiah Sirles, to dive into all things offense and our big takeaways from the spring on the offensive side of the ball so far throughout spring football. So QBs, let's first of all start with the guy that's returning, Heinrich Harburg.
Yeah.
He's a leader in the room, and you even said that when we were sitting there watching some of the practice, you can tell that he's a guy that's got Big Ten experience, the way he was carrying himself on the football field.
Yeah, and the more I watched him, the more I also started to see how much his throwing motion has truly changed. And, I actually sent it to a couple of my buddies that are QBs and play college football. And I was like, hey, does this look different to you? And they're like, oh, man, that's drastically different. Like, that looks so much cleaner. And that's just a testament to, the coaches and also how much work he's put into it. Because I did feel like he made some really good throws on Saturday. Some sidelines, some deep posts. I thought he made good decisions, but his throwing motion just looks a lot better. So I'm excited for him to take that next step because, yeah, you can see he just has a different presence about him than the two younger cats. And that's because he's played in Big Ten games. That's just, you can't mimic that experience through practice. That's only something that you can get baptized through fire with, and he was. So, excited for him to come back, be the leader in that room, and compete.
Okay, and then let's go in alphabetical order. How about Danny Kaelin? The other freshman, you can see his talent on full display, too. I mean, I've seen him make some heck of throws out there throughout the couple practices that I've watched, too.
Yeah, for a young kid, he was really impressive. You never know what you're going to get with a freshman, but I thought that he handled the offense well. I didn't see a ton of him freaking out trying to get guys lined up or people not knowing what the play call was. And he had a beautiful, beautiful deep shot out of there on the furthest, I believe it was the furthest east field. I was watching him, his play action, stood in the pocket strong, delivered it in timing. And that's the biggest thing with young quarterbacks is, can they deliver it on time? Right? Can they deliver on time? Can they stay within the concept of the route, understand the protection, and get the ball out? So, yeah, I think he's going to be a great one. He's big, too. I think he's got a chance to put some weight on in the weight room. So I really like the way he carries himself.
All right, and then Dylan Raiola, and again, you and I were sitting there, and you just said it just looks so different coming off his hand. It looks really effortless, right?
Yeah, and by no points am I going to anoint this dude king.
Right.
You know me. You know me. I don't sit there and oh, wow, look at this. But it's hard to ignore the arm talent. Right, I've been in locker rooms with Josh Allen and Cam Newton and watched what it looks like when the ball zips out of those dudes' hands and how effortless they make it look. And when you see Dylan Raiola throw the football, there's a lot of that to him. And, that's great. There's a lot of guys with good arm talent. Now, can he make the decisions and do everything that comes with it? I thoroughly believe it. Talking with some guys that's like, hey, is he a dude, like dude, and not just a talented dude? Everyone sings the guy's high praises. He says he works his tail off. He's constantly in the meeting room, constantly working to get better. And, when you have arm talent like that, you can do really special things. Like, you can put balls where they need to be, and you can threaten deep, and you can do all the things, watching him move within the pocket was interesting. I think he still needs to learn how to move with his eyes downfield a little bit better because he's not a guy that's going to take off and get you 35 or 40. I think he's a guy that can take off and get you 10 or 15, and then I hope he slides and never gets hit. But, you want a guy that can move within the pocket and throw the ball down the field. But when he turns and lets one go, it doesn't even look like he's trying, and that thing goes 50 or 60. So very excited that he's here. When you get a recruit like that and the potential's through the roof, and, I was talking with a bunch of scouts from pro day that came, and I was like, hey, I was Nebraska's pro day, and they all just kind of looked at me like, that quarterback, but like 3 years, you might want to try and sign him. So, it's one of those things where when you've got NFL guys that do this for a living that can also see the arm talent on display in a true freshman like that, that you've got something special, and now it's just our job to develop him as a leader, as a player, as an athlete, as a quarterback.
And look, this coaching staff has said it. All three guys are rotating with the ones. There is not a starter by any means. There's not even going to be a starter at the end of spring.
It's April. Starters are named in August.
It's going to be a battle. But to me, though, since I've been here, and you can correct me that I'm wrong, this is the most talented quarterback room Nebraska's had for a while, right?
I would think so. Yeah, it's hard for me to say because both Dylan and Danny haven't played in a game. Right? So it's hard to say we have the most talented quarterback room when you have two guys that have never played a snap of college football.
True.
Right? And so that's what makes it tough to now raw talent, like arm talent, probably, but it's hard for me to elevate some of those guys above a Casey Thompson or a brother Logan Smothers or someone that I've seen play in a college football game. So I think by the end of this fall, all three of those guys will play at one point. I think that's a safe thing to say, is that all three of those guys at one point in time will all play this year, with the redshirt rule being what it is, and you can play in 4 games. So I would love to see all 4 of those guys get time, and then at this time next year, you and I sitting here going, yeah, all 4 of those guys, Big Ten experience, college football experience, no telling what this room could look like.
We've heard Marcus Satterfield, Glenn Thomas, a number of the players, even Heinrich Harburg, that these true freshmen and should be seniors in high school, they've been really impressed with how they've handled themselves, and they seem so much further along than a lot of typical what would be seniors in high school or freshmen, how they've just handled themselves throughout this. Were you pretty impressed with how they managed things out there on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I remember at this point during my senior season, I think I was taking like 3 classes. I was home by like 2 p.m., eating cereal, playing Halo 3, like just getting ready for basketball practice or something. So, to come out here and be the leader of young men, and most of them being 2 to 3 years older than you, and them all looking to you for the answers and how to operate and all those things, to have that on your shoulders and to walk in there and just wear it, I was really impressed with not just how they practiced, but the way that they carried themselves.
Okay, let's move on. How about we do running backs? And 21, Emmett Johnson jumped out to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's weird to look at our running back room when you look on the sideline and there's Gabe and Ramir, right? And you're like, well, is this running back room, it's not complete, right? But with the guys that we do have, in 21, with Emmett Johnson, looked like right now, if we had to go play a game on Saturday, I'm pretty sure he'd be RB1, right? The way that he's working and the experience he had last year, he still needs to get a little bigger up top. I still think he's a little skinny up top to be a bell cow back in the Big Ten. But you see the flashes of his cut, his one-cut ability and get north and south. But Dante Dowell was another one, 23, the transfer in from Oregon. He was one that he ripped off, I think, 2 long touchdown runs where, it wasn't like, oh, run by the guy, tagged you off. It was break through the hole, get north and south. And he looks to me more like the downhill bruiser. Right, I think he's going to be a little more built at the lower half. He's got good vision for one cut, but I don't think I saw him bounce it once. I saw him go, there's the hole, right through there. So good compliment right now with Emmett and Dante, and really excited to see what that whole running back room can look like as a whole when Gabe can get back healthy and Ramir can get back healthy. It's going to be a fun position battle to watch through August.
Of course, Dowdell, the transfer from Oregon, had a lot of hype surrounding him, but you said that multiple times while we were standing there, great run, which sometimes running backs drive you crazy with how but you liked how those guys are running the football on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, I liked that we were running the football as an offense on Saturday, right? I almost wore my hat, run the damn ball, but I was like, I haven't been there in a while. I should probably wait. I don't want to get off on the wrong foot too early. So, really excited that we put an emphasis on the running game, because no matter who steps out there at quarterback, whether it's Harburg, whether it's Raiola or Danny, we have to have a good run game. We can't expect those 3 guys to go throw the football 60 times a game and win. Right, and that's just not fair to them. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm not saying they're not capable of doing it. It's just not fair to ask them to do in the Big Ten. We need to have a balanced attack. We need to be a 60-40 run-pass type of football team early in those quarterbacks' career. Now, if they all turn out to be dudes, sure, let's let them air it out and do their thing. But at the same time, that's not how Rule wants this. That's not how Rule's ever wanted this, right? He knows what Nebraska is. He knows what this is about. We have to have a running game that we can rely on and go back to time and time again.
Absolutely. And you said it, this running back room is going to look a lot different come the fall with the additions of some of the guys that are getting healthy right now. Quentin Ives continues to come along, but we saw it last year. You need multiple running backs, and you need, running backs that can do different things too.
Yeah, it's got to be running back by committee. Right? Think about the Michigan, right? They had Blake Corum and Edwards, right? Every college football team now has at least 2 to 3 backs that can be guys and come in and contribute, because they get hurt. That's just nature of the position. It's why they won't get paid in the NFL. It's why you see them out of the NFL real quickly. It's a brutal physically position. I mean, you're getting beat up a lot, so you got to have guys that you feel like can go in there. And again, it's all about eliminating the drop off from your tier 1 running backs to your tier 2 to your tier 3. You don't want drastic drop offs in talent level and production between those 3 or 4 guys.
Okay, let's talk tight ends, and let's start with Thomas Fidone, big key that's coming back, and we talked a lot about him periodically through last season, his first full season healthy, and you and I both have had knee injuries. It takes a full year to really feel in game shape. So I feel like, and you think about it, he wasn't even full go a year ago, so I feel like we're probably just now starting to see full go, fully healthy, full throttle Thomas Fidone.
Yeah, and it's not even as much when I say, and you know what I'm talking about. Anyone that's had a major surgery knows what I'm talking about. It's not, when we say full go, it's not the doctor said, oh, you're full go and you're cleared. It's, does my brain trust my body to do what I need it to do? Right? Does my brain trust that I can do the exact same movement that I tore my ACL doing without like guarding it or moving? It just takes time to retrain your body to not think about it anymore. And I agree with you. He looked really good running around. Last year I thought he had a little bit of a hitch in his giddy up sometimes, running the routes or getting off the ball. But he looked very fluid throughout practice. He got over the middle a couple times. I think they threw a tight end screen to him once and get the ball in his hand, but he is just so long and lanky. Right, he walks by you and he looks kind of Gumby, right? He's just got limbs that go everywhere, and he just looks like the prototypical Y tight end that you would want to have on your football team.
And we saw him make some incredible catches, but we talked a lot about it. I think he'll be the first to tell you one area that he probably needs to continue to improve in is that blocking and the pass protection, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, every tight end ever needs to improve in blocking, if you ask any offensive lineman that's ever played next to him. It's just one of those things where you expect a lot of those guys, and it's a tough position. They have to know, besides the quarterback, they have to know the most out of anyone else on the field.
Yeah.
Right? They got to know the blocking assignments for the box. They have to know the route tree, and they have to know the protections. Right? It's a very demanding mental position, even though some may not think it is. And, so for him to get his first year playing, of mentally knowing what's going on and now physically going out there, he just has to have the want to. Blocking at a tight end is not as much about the technique as much as the desire and the will, right? And as an offensive lineman, if you look at a tight end and he's just fighting his butt off to get the guy blocked, right? And it might not be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But he just has the desire and the will and the fight to just throw his head across and run his feet and stay in front of him. That's going to get the job done a lot of the time. And that's what I need to see more out of Thomas Fidone this fall and early this spring, is just the fight, the desire, and the will to block these defensive ends.
All right, and we always talk about depth, right? How'd you like the other tight ends that you saw running out there?
Yeah, I think that's a room that I didn't see a ton of 22 or 12 personnel. I think we ran in a lot of 11 personnel. But overall, I think that room's in a good place. I think that's a room that I don't have a ton of question marks about right now. It's one of those things that you're just going to have to kind of wait and see how much they get used in the fall.
Right. Okay, wide receivers. How about wide receivers? And they got some weapons. There's definitely Isaiah Nair.
Looks like he was created in a test tube and said, you catch footballs. And he goes, yes, I do. You've got 36-inch arms, right? That he's so long. He can run. He looks like he's going to be like a 4.5, maybe low 4.4s dude. And he comes in and out of his breaks very, very smoothly for a tall guy, right? And he's called the eye test, right? Every time you walk onto a football field, the first thing you do is you just kind of look around, right? Like, okay, who, quote unquote, looks the part? And he is absolutely a guy that looks the part. He's cut up, he's big, he's lean, and he's long, right? And then you watch him on the tape and you watch him on the field, and he's getting deep, he's getting open, he's getting one step on receivers, on long routes, short routes, creating separation. He's going to be wide receiver 1 for us this year, based off my very little experience of just watching. If I had to put a stamp on something that I felt the utmost certainty about this offense, is that he will be wide receiver 1 going into the fall. You also have Jamal Banks, right? You have Jamal Banks.
Yeah, Jamal Banks.
Jamal Banks, right? The Wake Forest receiver transfer. He also very good, speedy guy, in and out of his breaks well. You know, that was a position we needed a big upgrade in athleticism at. Guys that could take the top off the defense, and you pair them with the young guys like Jalen Lloyd and Malachi Coleman, right? And you're going, okay, those dudes are coming along. You added some more dudes into that room. You know, now we're giving these quarterbacks something to work with on a more consistent basis and open the route tree a little bit more, allowing these guys to go use that athleticism, that speed, and that length to go up there and make some good catches.
So that was just a small portion of our entire conversation that we had with Jeremiah Sirles, part of our Sideline Slice with Sirles, which is brought to you by Valentino's Pizza, the official pizza of the Huskers. You can check out that full conversation out now on our podcast platforms and our YouTube channel. And I'm just letting you guys know, I am not going to take responsibility for that cut because you guys cut out his talk about the offensive line. I'm going to let him know that it was Duke and Cole that was responsible for that, but you can hear all of his take on the offensive line out now on our podcast platforms. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back with more on Sports Nightly coming up after this.
Don't miss out on limited-time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Feel like you're always on the run? Me too. As an independent financial professional, I help all kinds of busy people. Young families planning for college, couples working toward retirement, people securing their legacy. Wherever you are in life, Emeritus can help you get more out of life with insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. You're moving fast. Let's help make sure you're on the path to a fulfilling life. Find your next step at emeritus.com. Insurance products issued by Emeritus Life Insurance Corp.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles, or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Not Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Not Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Not Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. So we went a little bit long there on our presser cuts and with Sirles, so this got to be a quick segment, but keeping check on the Masters, Bryson DeChambeau still in the lead at 7 under. Scotty Scheffler, who was Greg's pick last night, is in second at 6 under. Cole did tell me, so he wasn't on the show last night when we made our picks, but he had Rory, so Cole's got Rory, and I have Victor Hovland, and they are both tied at 17, or tied for 17th at 1 under. And Duke said he had Scotty as well, but he's concerned he might not make it because Scotty's wife is scheduled to have a baby, and if that happens, then Scotty is going to not be a part of the field anymore. He's going to pull out. So we will keep an eye on that, but I just, don't want to hear Greg bragging about it on Monday, so I really need Victor to pick it up. But so we made all of our picks last night. Cole was 6, so he didn't get in, but we'll let him in. He always picks Rory. We could have probably picked for him, so we will keep an eye on that as well. If problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. There is no judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com. All right, we got to work at another break here. We're back to wrap up hour number 1 coming up after this.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Husker fans, it's baseball season, and your Nebraska baseball team wants to see you at Haymarket Park. Season tickets, diamond deals, and single game tickets are on sale now. Get your tickets today and help the Huskers show everyone in the country why there is no place like Nebraska. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8
Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
NDOT Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. NDOT Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. NDOT Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new, it's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at hyvee.com/perks. Well, for those watching on the YouTube channel, you can maybe see my sweatshirt I am sporting today. It's a Masters sweatshirt. My brother and dad were able to go last year, and they said it was awesome. Like, the beers are like $1. The sandwiches are $2 for the pimento cheese sandwiches. So he brought back a lot of gear for everybody, and so I had to sport my Masters sweatshirt. But it's definitely a bucket list item. Russ actually had a Masters polo on. One of our guys up here had on a Masters polo today, but my dad and brother actually we have a relative that was on the list for years and years to try to get tickets, and finally got the call that she got tickets, and so she offered them up to my dad and brother. So they went, and they said it was an experience of a lifetime. I'm just sitting here watching it on TV up here on the big screen, and hoping that one day I will get to go and actually say that I went, not just wear the sweatshirt. But I actually have a legit sweatshirt from the Masters that my dad and brother went last year. So we still have a lot to come here coming up on the show. I went a little bit long in those first two segments, but we're going to talk some Husker baseball with Ben McLaughlin. He'll be on the call this weekend at Rutgers. Big weekend coming up for the Huskers and Husker baseball as they look to get another series and win another series and stay on top of the Big Ten. So we're going to dive into all of that and look back at the loss at Kansas on Tuesday. So we'll have Ben here to chat about that. And because we went a little long, we had to push the Cam Linhard interview. So we're going to hear from both Cam Linhard and Tristan Alvano coming up here in the next segment as well, and or here at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. So we will hear from those guys. Tristan has a great perspective on how he's approaching spring, so the local kid and how he's kicking right now. So you'll want to stick around for that interview. And Cole is under the weather, but he has passed along. He's going to hand the baton off for Colin from the bullpen. Duke is ready for to step in for his moment to shine in Cole/Duke's joke of the week coming up here at the end of hour number 2. So keep it right here. We got lots coming your way here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. And as always, if you want to be a part of the show, you can join us there on our text line 402-413-2400. And we are broadcasting inside our Huskers Radio Network broadcast center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. All right, fast hour number 1 here on this Thursday night edition. Plenty to come. Keep it here on Sports Nightly for hour number 2. Headed your way next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Experience personalized service and exceptional deals at Woodhouse Lincoln. With cutting-edge technology and incredible design, Woodhouse Lincoln is the place to find your next luxury vehicle. Lease a 2024 Lincoln Aviator for $759 a month for 39 months, 10,500 miles per year. Or purchase with 2.9% APR for 36 months. With approved credit, security deposit waived. Stock L240075. $5,000 down payment plus first payment and $299 fee due at site. Offer expires 4/30/2024. See dealer for details.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Good evening, I'm Duke Root, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Nebraska football head coach Matt Rule spoke to the media after another spring practice today. The Huskers are in their third week of spring camp and have their first team-wide scrimmage on Saturday, which will be a great opportunity for Rule to see where the team is at early on.
It's just an assessment for where we are right now, right? I told the players before practice, a lot of them think in terms of spots, like, oh, I got my spot. No, I don't think about, honestly, I don't ever really believe until the guys played for you for a couple years, you really don't know who your starters are until like after game 2 sometimes. Like, you think someone's a starter, then you see them play and it's a little too big for them, or you see someone play and they're just so comfortable. So I don't really think in terms of spots. I think in terms of like development. And to me, there's like this line, okay, hey, he's good enough to win with. And so if you're above that line, you're going to play, right? Some weeks, I mean, we're in the Big Ten. We're playing in weather. We're playing on turf. Guys are going to get beat up. So you better have, not just 3 defensive line starters. You better have about 5 or 6. So I'm just trying to see where assess where they are right now. A big thing for me is, are they at the right position? What are their opportunities they should get moving forward? We really have to take a lot of time to work on our end-of-game 2-minute situations with the way the league runs, with our recent history, but also with really a sophomore quarterback in Heinrich who's only played 1 year, and 2 young quarterbacks and young receivers that we need a ton of the 2-minute reps. So we'll probably rep a lot of those situations first, and then when they're tired, go live and tackle and see if we can tackle and block.
Today is the start of the 2024 Masters from Augusta National. Bryson DeChambeau is in the lead so far at 7 under, followed by Scotty Scheffler at 6 under, Nikolai Hogard at 5 under, and a 2-way tie at 4th with Danny Willett and Max Homa at 4 under. The men's Frozen Four began tonight with number 2 Boston University tied with number 3 Denver 1-1 in overtime, and number 1 Boston College taking on Michigan in the second game. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Lifted to right, and drifting over near the line is Williams, and looking up, and it is gone. Wind blows it right out of here. It's a grand slam for Will Walsh. It's 5-0 Big Red. To the wall, reaches back, but it's gone! A 2-run home run for Ava Bradwell. A moonshot that just cleared the wall and left. And the Huskers take a 3-1 lead in the second.
The hitter now, the 1-0 pitch. Swings and lines one. Diving grab by Dylan Carey deep in the hole. Holy cow, what a play from DC.
The pitch from Chambers. Cope golfs one to center and deep. Going back Delgadillo, and it's gone! 3-run home run, Emerson Cope. Make it 5-2 Nebraska.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly, final show of the week before we will have baseball on our networks all weekend long. And stick around if you want to hear more from Duke. He is going to step in, pinch hit for Cole tonight for Duke's Joke of the Week. So coming up here at the end of this hour. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenience sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're going to talk some baseball here coming up in just a few minutes with Ben McLaughlin. But before we do have some more spring football that we wanted to get to here today. I had a chance to chat with Cam Linhard, the now sophomore defensive lineman, who is a big part of that rotation that Terrence Knighton was able to build there up front for Tony White's defense. So entering year number 2, and this was the time a year ago, remember, that he really burst out onto the scene, that they really thought, okay, they got something special here when he was here as a true freshman. But now entering year number 2, and after a really solid role that he had for this defense last season, he was hurt a little bit, missed a few games, but then came back and was a big part. So here's my conversation with Cam Linhard. Here with Cam Linhard. Well, you guys are a few practices into this thing, got the full pads competition going. How's it been going out there?
It's great. It's great to be back out there. You know, we haven't been out there since November, so just being out there and be able to have fun, it's great.
You were a true freshman going through this a year ago, figuring this out. How do you feel different this time around as a sophomore and a full year under your belt?
It's just, you know, being able to, can't make the same mistakes that I did last year, and just trying to take on a leadership role. You know, that's the biggest change for me.
What are some of the things, you know, when you closed the chapter last year that you really wanted to focus on and work on here, especially starting here this spring?
Yeah, just, you know, working on my pass rush and stuff like that, working on the four-man rush. That's something that I'm taking pride in.
The D-line as a whole, you guys were so close last year and were a huge part of this defense. How has that translated into what you guys are doing this spring?
No, yeah, I mean, the stuff that we do on and off the field, you know, it continues. So just building that brotherhood between us, you know, it hasn't really changed and stuff like that. So we're just continuing to just build that bond.
With so many guys that played so much football together, how does that translate to just, again, with the familiarity with playing with each other and just building that standard? How does that help when you have so many guys that have played together?
Yeah, I mean, just being able to go out there and you know your brothers to the left and right and know what they're doing and stuff like that, and you know we all have experience and stuff on the field, so just being able to go out there and just trust. So
when Nash is back and then Ty announces he is coming back, what did that mean to you guys and that they wanted to come back and play another year with you guys?
I mean, it's special, you know, to get them back and stuff like that. I look up to them as leaders and stuff like that, you know, not only just on the field, but I'll go to them for personal stuff. So just have them back and stuff like that is great.
You're such a mature guy. We did a piece with you last year talking about you're well beyond your years, but what were some of the biggest things that you learned last year in your first year of college football?
For me, you know, just being able to deal with adversity and stuff like that, coming off ankle sprain out a few weeks and stuff like that. So just being able to do that, take care of my body, you know, that's something you learn a lot.
The depth there at the D-line, you guys started to build this last spring. How much are you looking to build even more depth with this group here starting this spring?
I mean, the greatest thing about playing D-line is that you always have people come in no matter who's in the game. You just constantly send in, waves at people. So just being able to have the depth is, something that, makes a great D-line.
You know, talking with a few of the defensive players, it seems like you guys want to raise the standard even more. How has that been for this defense going into this spring and wanting to be even better and raise that standard from what you guys did even last year?
No, you know, we're chasing three, so the same standard is different this year, you know, where everybody's, just perked up more and we're, the foot is on the gas even more. So we're coming for it all this year.
Has it been how has it been different too, being that you guys have a year of familiarity with this coaching staff as well?
No, I mean it's great, you know, to have it under the belt and be able to know all the calls now. You know, when we were coming in last spring, we were learning it. This year, you know, we're just making it better. You know, we're coming and we're getting better at the little things rather than trying to learn the plays and get better. You know, it's we're just focused on just getting better.
All right, what goes into the rest of the spring for the defense, for the D-line, for you personally, that you guys are where you want to be when this chapter closes?
Yeah, you know, just working on that four-man rush up front, you know, having all four guys just get after the quarterback. That's one thing we're working hard on.
Appreciate your time, Cam.
Thank you.
And that was Cam Linhard, defensive lineman, now sophomore. So up next, we're going to hear from Tristan Alvano, the also now sophomore. But this is his first spring after earning the starting job last year as a true freshman. He actually broke the program record for the longest field goal for a true freshman in his 55-yarder against Purdue. So, but, you know, he was the first to say, and you'll hear from him, that there are things he wants to improve on and get better at. So here is my conversation with Tristan Alvano. Here with Tristan Alvano, your first spring, right? How has it been going through spring for the first time?
It's great. No, I don't know. It's fun. I'm really having a good time. You know, the winter was tough, but it was really good for us. You know, going through mat drills and team commitment week, and just kind of get back out here and play some football. It's really fun, and I'm really enjoying it.
How did you feel like you grew throughout going through that for the first time?
It was different. You know, I mean, it's hard. It's hard stuff. You know, it's a job. I mean, that's what you do in college. College sports are hard, and this winter's tough. But just getting used to that and kind of seeing yourself grow kind of mentally is really fun. You know, doing hard things. You know, a common person doesn't do that. So kind of trying to test yourself and push your limits and then seeing yourself grow is really a special thing, I think.
You earned the starting job last year when the season was closed. How did you go back and evaluate how your first year went as a Husker?
Yeah, you know, just kind of looking back at the moments, I think I definitely have lot to grow. I mean, there was definitely some, inconsistency during there, but, overall I was, kind of happy with how I grew over the course of the season. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you I had a tough start. I think, I don't want to start off with the way I did, but kind of having to bounce back and, make some kicks and put pressure on myself. Like it was really good mentally to kind of see myself grow. And I'm just really excited for the rest of the spring and this upcoming season, because I made a lot of growth in the winter and I'm excited to show it.
What goes into your goals and what you want to accomplish during spring?
Honestly, everything I worked on in the winter, just trying to get more and more consistent with that. I worked really hard with Chris Brown and the staff here. That's someone I give a lot of credit to. He's been my mentor for years, and and then seeing whatever the staff sees and the other specialists see with my kicks, all the credit goes to them. But really, just trying to focus in on kind of the changes we made and get ready to continue that in the spring. So yeah.
Got Brian Buschini back. How nice is that to have a veteran guy in that room?
Oh, it's great. We got some old guys in the room. Marco and Timmy last year were old, and Brian and Tuck got a year older. So yeah, we got some old guys in the room. But it's really nice to kind of see. I don't know. There's guys to look up to, and those are the guys to do it. And it's really nice, kind of. I mean, I'm young and still, but not as young as I was a few months ago during the season. So it's really nice still to look up to them, and it's good role models for sure.
There's some changes, right, in the field goal unit. So how do you guys go about that and developing that chemistry?
Yeah, honestly, just reps. The spring is huge for reps. We only got 15 practices out here, so getting as many reps as we can, taking advantage of them is huge. And, just doing our job and executing.
You have a unique job in this competition deal where you kind of go around in the golf cart and whoever needs a field goal, you got to kick. How has that been for you being a part of this competition?
Man, if I wasn't in love with my job already, I fell in love with it more. I'll tell you that much. I know some of the guys are pretty upset that I just get to go around in a golf cart, but getting the chance to do that and kind of, I don't know, they play a walk-up song in the back of the golf cart, and then we get to hop out the truck, kick a field goal and drive off. I mean, that's pretty special, and it creates a lot of fun. And honestly, it's believe it or not, it's kind of game-like. We're driving around, not knowing where you're going to kick, having to get out there in a few seconds and figure everything out with the wind and everything, and picking a target. I mean, it's pretty game-like, believe it or not, minus the golf cart.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got to help you too. I mean, just the pressure of, hey, these guys want you to make the field goal, and just the different situations that you're in. It's got to help push you as well.
Yeah, no, I never would have thought I would have got iced, but they tried to ice me today, and it didn't work. But so I'll give some guys some crap about that later. But yeah, no, it's fun. The defense wants me to miss, the offense wants me to make it. It's fun.
You get any offers to make one or miss one for either team?
People are trying to tell the specialists that we're on this team, when really we're not on any of the teams. We're just there trying to execute, and we're having some fun on the golf cart.
How much does that help just this team? How much of a fun element has that been to add that here this spring?
Oh, it's a blast. I mean, kind of, that's something I didn't expect. The spring league's a really creative idea, and the fact that we get to be a part of it and aren't kind of left out is fun. And yeah, I mean, it just creates more game-like scenarios. 2-minute red zone, anything like that. It's game-like, so we love it.
The camaraderie, the chemistry was just so important last season. How has that been a part of it this time around, and kind of building that again, building off of what you guys did last year in that regard?
Yeah, no, I mean, the process hasn't changed no matter what. Really just building that consistency is huge. Obviously, I mean, Cam is great. He's been here a while, and for example, he's a new snapper, but so he's new to our unit, but he's worked with us for a long time, and I'm just really excited for him to get his opportunity. And I mean, Brian stays the same at holder, and yeah, I mean, we're just continue every day, repping it out and getting better every day.
All right, what are your goals for the rest of spring before you guys take the field for the spring game?
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm kicking the best I ever have right now, so continue to keep that up. I mean, I know I hold myself to high standards, so I mean, I don't know anything about percentages or numbers, but I want to kick the best I can and continue that throughout the rest of the way. And spring game, I mean, I'm just happy I will get to go out there and show out with my teammates. I'm really excited for that opportunity.
Now that you have a year under the belt, how was it being a Husker, a Nebraska kid, and getting to wear that uniform last season?
It was special. I mean, those tunnel walks are surreal, and they'll never get old. Take advantage of those and don't take any moment for granted. But it was really special getting to go out there and play in front of all those people. It was special.
Appreciate your time, Tristan.
Thank you.
Love to hear that he's feels like he's kicking the best he ever has. Duke also, he works with us and works some with the football staff, and he does some of the video over there. You've had a perspective of him. It's pretty funny to watch him just driving around in the golf cart, and then I guess I didn't realize he had a walk-up song, but it's kind of a funny thing that he gets the call, right? And it's like, hey, we need a field goal in field 3. And then the field goal unit just drives over there in the golf cart, and they run out and they kick the field goal.
Yeah, no doubt. It's really funny. He, one time I was working at field 3, and then they were waiting for him to come, and then all of a sudden he comes from the Hawks indoor facility, just in his car. He comes out and then kicks his field goal. It's funny.
It's great stuff. All right, we got to get to another break because we got lots to get to. Duke's going to have Joke of the Week this week, stepping in for Cole, but we're going to talk lots of baseball coming up next with Ben McLaughlin. Sarpy County, where great food, drink, shopping, concerts, and fun await you. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com. Ben McLaughlin up next here on Sports Nightly.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Not Companies is proud to support Husker athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside-Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Not Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Not Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Experience a redefined car buying experience with Woodhouse Mazda. Visit the Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers and explore our exceptional lineup, like the versatile and capable Mazda CX-50 or the sleek and modern Mazda CX-30. Right now, receive a low APR of 3.49% for 60 months or 4.49 APR for 72 months on our full lineup of 2024 Mazda 3 hatchbacks. With approved credit, tax title license extra when financed through Mazda Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires April 30th, 2024. See dealer for details.
If you're an unconditional, wholehearted, and ever so loyal Husker fan, you deserve to pay like one everywhere you go. With the free FNBO Husker Visa debit card. Fuel your fandom all season and beyond with a debit card just for you. It's free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get your free Husker Visa debit card at any branch or at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles, or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Not Companies is proud to support Husker athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside-Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Not Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Not Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
Woodhouse Nissan is an easy choice when shopping for your next vehicle. Lease the 2024 Nissan Sentra SV with $0 down for just $297 a month, or purchase for $341 a month for 75 months through NMAC financing. This is Woodhouse Nissan. Lease for 36 months, 5,000 miles per year with approved credit, tax, title, license extra, first payment, and $299 doc fee due at signing. Discounted price based on a sale price of $22,009. $500 MY24 Sentra NMAC bonus cash rebate and $750 NMAC cash rebate available towards deal. VIN number RY275251. Offer expires April 30th, 2024. See dealer for details.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and baseball hits the road for Big Ten Series at Rutgers this weekend. And to talk a little bit about that, preview the weekend, Ben McLaughlin, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think our record before we do series is quite sparkling, so it's been good luck.
Swept, right?
Yeah, so I'm hoping it's similar results this weekend.
But Piscataway, lovely Piscataway.
Yeah, I hear it's lovely this time of year. Actually, I don't think I've ever been to that town where it's not raining. Like, it's always bad weather or windy, and I was there for basketball 2 months ago, and it was like 20 degrees and cold. I'm like, man, why do people live here? They live here by choice. It's just miserable.
And it's not ideal broadcasting.
Let's just say they come from humble beginnings, and it really puts in perspective what we have here and just how great we have it. But it builds character.
Well, you will be on the call with David Gustafson this weekend. Greg put that at the very beginning of the schedule. He's not going to Rutgers.
Yeah, I think this is our 5th or 6th time coming to Rutgers since we've joined the league, and just a weird coincidence. It happens again that he doesn't make the trip. I don't know how that keeps happening.
Y'all were joking about that on the air the other day. I thought that was funny. He manages to avoid this trip. Well, let's talk about the most recent game, 13-11 loss at Kansas on Tuesday. And Greg was saying in the RPI it didn't really kill the Huskers, but another midweek loss, back-to-back weeks, and it's a question we get a lot, and I know it's baseball fans on social media are concerned about it. How concerning is it, the midweek losses?
Well, I think it's a little bit apples to oranges. I think a lot of people have some PTSD with what happened last year with the midweek losses, and I think where Nebraska was in the season last year when they were suffering those losses to where they are this year are completely different scenarios. Yeah. I mean, Nebraska needed all the wins they could get last year. RPI was a concern from the beginning because the teams that they had thought were going to be good when they scheduled non-conference didn't end up panning out very well, and so their RPI suffered there. So they really needed those midweek games, not only for the wins, but so that RPI, at least got reasonable. I mean, and it's beyond reasonable now. It's almost excellent right now. So I know people are worried about it and concerned about it, and of course you have every right to be, but I would say the midweek losses don't hurt you near as bad this year for several reasons. One, your RPI is already in terrific shape. Two, the opponents just themselves are significantly better in the midweek this year than they were last year. So, a 13-11 loss to Kansas or a loss to a 21-6 Creighton team, it doesn't look as bad as maybe what it did in years past. So I know fans want to win every game.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it comes down to performing well on the weekends, taking care of business, winning series, because if you do that every weekend, you have a chance to win the league. I think that's the first goal every year. Nebraska's done enough with the RPI right now to be comfortable. I don't think it's going to do anything reckless, from here on out based on who Nebraska has left on the schedule. But I understand. Yeah. I get the tweets all the time. I know people are worried about it. Yes, it would have been great to win on Tuesday. It's a good Kansas team. The record's not great, but, man, they've really beaten some good teams. They swept TCU. They're returning the trip here in a week or so let's just not panic. Let's let kind of things play out here before we get in a tizzy about that. But, yeah, I know fans are really concerned about it.
Appreciate you talking us off the ledge because, I do. I think it probably goes back a little bit to last year, but I've been in the Big 12 where a lot of teams didn't care at all about midweek games, what the outcomes were.
Yeah, I mean, look around college baseball. I mean, there are some ridiculous scores that happen in the midweeks. It's because the lack of pitching and wanting to get guys innings like Nebraska did on Tuesday. I mean, look at Florida State. That's two top 25 teams technically. Florida doesn't belong in there, but, I mean, they got drilled. They lost like 20-5 or something, and there's upsets all the time. South Alabama, team Nebraska took 2 of 3 from here in Lincoln, knocked off nationally ranked Alabama this midweek. Like, crazy things happen in the midweek that is not foreign to college baseball. It's not foreign to the major publications that rank Nebraska. People will say, well, why is Nebraska still ranked? They went 2-2. It's, well, they put a lot of stock in your weekend. They put a lot of stock in how games happen. They lost a tight one to Creighton and, took 2 of 3 from the Buckeyes. So you just got to continue handling your business on the weekend. Yes, it's great for the development. It's great for the record to get those wins on the midweek, but it's not the end of the world to drop 1 or 2.
They're still leading the Big Ten. They're still leading the conference. One thing I've appreciated about this team, though, is that no matter what the score is, they seem like they're always going to fight. Sometimes in baseball games, you get down 6 runs, and it's, let's hang it in for the day. But see, this team's always going to battle and try to figure out a way to win a baseball game, no matter how they start.
Yeah, that trend needs to stop, though, by the way. It's getting old. I think they were down 5-0 to Creighton. They were down 5-0 to Ohio State. They were down 5-1 and 11-5 to Kansas. Like, okay, we've tried that. We've come back a few times to win, but you just can't make a living doing that.
Right.
But they just hate losing. Like, they hate losing more than they like winning. And it's not just the games. It's the hacky sack that they play before the games start. It's everything that they do that's a competition they want to win. And that comes from their head coach. It comes from their coaching staff. And so, there is no folding of the tent. It's we're competing against a different color jersey. We want to beat you. And that's catered them well. The Northwestern game on Sunday, they reached second base on a swinging strikeout on a ball that gets by the catcher. Like, that doesn't happen if you don't have that killer mentality inside of you. So that's all great, and it's great to see that when they're trailing. But it'd also be nice to have a couple of those leads early in the game to not have to do that all the time.
Touche, yes, absolutely. Well, here we are another week. Brett Sears, Big Ten Pitcher of the Week, and we talk about him a lot, but he just seems to keep getting better and better. So I guess what's impressed you about how he's continuing to improve, despite now the film and the word's out, he's one of the best pitchers in the league, and he continues to just, it seems like, get better every single week.
National Pitcher of the Week, 2 hitters away from a perfect game. I mean, I think I said it on the air. I think that's the best pitching performance I've ever seen from a Husker. And I've seen a lot of Husker baseball over the years. So tremendous effort from him. But the thing that's, when you get these types of starts to a season, when you get these pitchers that have performances like this, it's really easy to just take it for granted and to just assume that's going to happen every week, not knowing how difficult it is to repeat. It is not easy to do this because, as you mentioned, where we're at with Synergy and TrackMan and all the games on TV, it's easy to scout an opponent. You can break down, down to the miles per hour, how a guy's going to throw a fastball, how many inches of horizontal break his breaking pitch is going to have, his tendencies, right? How many times is he throwing a 2-0 breaking ball? You get all those data points on a starting pitcher, and it seems like you have all the answers to the test before you take it. And so it makes it extremely difficult to not only mentally and strategically have your edge every week, but at the same time, you're throwing 100 pitches every 7 days. You have to take care of your body, your sleep, your nutrition, your strength and conditioning. To be able to come out and throw the ball 93 to 96 miles an hour 100 times once every week is not easy. So it just speaks to, one, how hard he works, to the position that he's put in by his coaches. I mean, just look at his last 2 starts. I mean, 2 starts ago against Northwestern, he was heavy fastball the first 2 trips through the order, and he got hit around a little bit. That was something that was unusual, and that's not uncommon. A lot of times you see starters rely heavily on your fastball. Then when, you know, you're deeper into your outing, that's when you mix in the breaking pitches and trying to give him something different to look at. Well, his last start with Ohio State, he was throwing 0-0 changeups. He was throwing his curveball early in counts. I mean, really doing the exact opposite of what he showed the day before. So it's little nuances like that you have to keep incorporating into your repertoire, and you can't do that if you don't throw more than 1 pitch consistently. And that's what makes him elite, is he's got 4 that he can throw for strikes at any time. He can manipulate the speed on his fastball. He can go from anywhere from 88 to 94 on his fastball. There's not a lot of college pitchers that can do that with the command that Brett does. And then you have the intangibles of the competitiveness. He's a hyper competitor. He loves to win. He loves his teammates. I mean, all these things I'm describing is what makes him what he's at. And you really don't like taking it for granted. You don't like assuming, like, he's human. He's going to have a bad outing at some point. But he's been absolutely phenomenal.
What does that do? You've been around a lot of baseball. When you've got a Friday night guy like that can go a complete game, that can dominate that way, how does that set the tone for everything else a baseball team does?
I mean, you just said it. It sets the tone, right? I mean, people get frustrated when they hear us say, you know, winning a series is big. You're going to win it at 2 out of 3. If you have a guy you can run out there on Friday and win and feel confident that he's at least going to give you a chance to win, that frees up so much stuff for the rest of the weekend, right? Number one, you're not eating into your bullpen. You know, you can save those big weapons for Saturday and Sunday. It just feeds that confidence and that will, the positive mantra. All that stuff happens when you've got a guy that, you know is going to go out there and shove. Defensively, it makes you better. Offensively, you know your margin isn't that. We don't need to go score 8 runs today. You know, two big hits might do it for us tonight. All of those things are why it's so important to get off to a good start on Friday, because you really feel behind the 8 ball when you show up on Saturday losing, knowing you got to win the next 2 to have a successful weekend. So he's done that. He's given Nebraska a chance every time he's been out there, and I think we all feel really good about when Brett Sears touches the mound.
And then Mason McConaughey got the start last Saturday. He's a guy that just moved recently into that weekend rotation. What are they seeing out of him that they trust him on that weekend rotation?
It's been a pretty impressive season trajectory for Mason. You got to think about where he started. He was one of about 6 or 7 guys that they wanted to see in the back end of a bullpen. And his first outing of the year was against a good offense in Texas Tech and really ran into some tough luck. I mean, a ball bounces off a base, off someone's head that lands in a dugout, a swinging bunt. I mean, he had some really bad breaks that happened to him and didn't get out to the best start. But he goes from there to a guy that they do lean on in some heavy situations, to a midweek starter when he started against Omaha, to getting put into the rotation, to getting promoted to a Saturday. I mean, he's had quite the climb already to get to where he's at, and he's been able to handle every single situation and excel even in the role better than he had the role before. And that's a little bit what the coaches told us about him coming into the year is, you know, his JUCO coach said the bigger the moment, the better he was. And that's held true to where he's been at Nebraska. To have some stability on Saturday, to back Brett Sears up on Friday, that's when you get into the conversation of a nationally ranked team, a team that could potentially host a regional, team that's contending for a conference championship. The best teams Nebraska's had in the past has had those starting pitchers that they could rely on, right? The Fort T team, the team that went to Stillwater for a regional, had 3 major leaguers in that rotation. You know, you have those guys, the De Leons, the Kubats, the Bummers back then, and now you back them up with guys that you have right now. It makes you believe. And Mason's provided that stability, and it's been really fun to watch.
Coach said this week in his media availability that pitching's been pretty consistent, but the offense needs to get more consistent. What does that look like for this team? How do they get more consistency out of the offense?
Yeah, that was the bugaboo the last week, really, was the runners in scoring position total just weren't what they needed to be. You know, so many times in those close games, it comes down to who comes up with a big swing with guys at second and third and 2 outs. You know, Ohio State was making all the swings on Sunday with 2 outs. Creighton did a little bit of the same last Tuesday. Kansas was able to do it on Tuesday. You know, that's what Nebraska's been missing, is that big hit. They got a couple huge ones against KU, which was great. That was just, you know, by far the worst day we had seen of a Nebraska pitching staff all year. So it was unfortunate that those kind of went hand in hand. But yeah, offensively, we all know that follow baseball. It's a lot harder of a sport to repeat. Like, you can do the same thing a little bit like golf. You can feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again and have different results. But that's why you have to be able to steal bases. You have to be able to hit and run. You have to be able to execute a bunt. You have to be able to drive guys in with runners at third base in less than 2 out. You have to do those little things. That's what makes a consistent offense. Everyone remembers the team last year that set a program record in home runs, and that team would just get up on you in a hurry. You know, the offense could be gone for 6 innings, and all of a sudden, solo homer, boop, bloop, bomb, there's 3 runs before you can blink. They don't have that luxury this year, so that's why you're seeing a lot more stolen base attempts, you know, that kind of gritty dirtbag type mentality that Will Bolt likes to employ. But you also have to come up with some big hits, and that's been missing.
Okay, to Rutgers. What do we need to know about Rutgers in this matchup, besides them not having a good broadcasting setup for you guys? But this matchup on paper going into Rutgers coming off getting swept by Purdue, but I know it's a good baseball team. They're well coached, and they'll be ready to go against Nebraska.
You could ask me this probably in 6 weeks, my answer would be that was the most surprising weekend result of the year by far. It was not only losing the series to Purdue, but getting swept. They're Steve Owens' coach bunch team. They're Northeast kids. They're tough. They're talented. They're huge. Physically, they're just always big. They recruit really well. It's a niche part to the country, and you have to be a special caliber to want to play there. And he recruits to it. Offensively, they hit 350 as a team. They have one of the preseason player of the year on their team, their shortstop, Josh Kuroda-Grauer. A lot of returning for those that followed the Big Ten tournament game last year in Omaha. A lot of those same guys are back. They lost a couple of kids to the draft and to transfers, but they're really solid on the mound. Sinibaldi's no joke. He's the real deal. They got a lot of those high leverage arms out of the pen. So statistically, if you pull up the Big Ten conference stats, they're top 3 in about every category. So that's what makes the 3 losses to Purdue so puzzling. They let 2 late leads slip away. But they're a good, solid bunch, and for whatever reason, Nebraska doesn't play particularly well in this ballpark. I don't know if the broadcast setup has anything to do with it or not, but it's been a challenge. It's been a chore playing out this field, so hopefully they can turn it around this weekend. And you were saying the turf at Kansas where it was a little challenging, and this is going to be they're going to be playing on turf again this weekend. How do they get ready for that? Yeah, it's crazy to me how different turf plays, right? You think of like K-State's turf, for example. It's a typical true turf, not anything crazy. You go an hour to Lawrence, and that was the bounciest, fastest turf I think I've ever seen. I mean, they had a ground ball get past Dylan Carey about 2 feet to his left. That made it all the way to the gap that scored 3 runs. I mean, you just don't see things like that very often. Rutgers, if I remember right, it's a little slower surface, so it's really important for them to get out on the field before the game and at least, test it out and get a feel for what they're going to see. That adjusts all kinds of things with what pitches are called, defensive positioning, all that kind of stuff. So thankfully, Will Bolt's at least somewhat familiar with this surface. He's coached here before, but this is it's a unique challenge that no 2 turfs play alike. So it's big to get out there and at least test it out. So with the Big Ten, and there's still a lot of baseball to be played, you never know who's going to get hot at the end of the season. But right now, I guess break down who's the best, who's going to be the most challenging, who Nebraska's got to look out for coming for the top of the league. I feel like my answer changes every week. Before the season started, I would have told you that Iowa was right in that conversation. Indiana and Iowa were the 2 that we all looked at. Those were the 2 in the preseason polls. Then they had a disastrous start to the year. And then all of a sudden, everyone's kind of looking to Rutgers and Maryland, right? They had the best non-conference performance. They were the ones challenging the polls. Well, they've both face planted in Big Ten play the last few weeks. And so I think my answer is different now than even what it was then. And Illinois is the hottest team in the conference right now. They're hovering right about 500 with their record, but I think they're 7-2 in league play. So there's a long way to go in the race, but there's some teams that have gotten out to pretty good starts. Purdue, another one. I wouldn't have expected them to be in that conversation as well, and yet here they are. So, I would put any of the teams it wouldn't shock me if any of the teams that I mentioned, it maybe would shock me the most if Illinois kept playing at the level that they are. But I would still look out for Iowa and Indiana. I think they're just too talented. I mean, look at what Indiana did last week. They go on the road and sweep Maryland on the road. So I wouldn't put those teams out of your memory too far. I think it's wide open right now. A lot to unfold still, just where we are right now at this point in the season. All right, toughest question of the day, Masters pick. Who you got? Oh, man. What a fun field. The way that they're playing, I just wrapped up full swing season 2 the other night in preparation for the Masters. I mean, everyone's going to pick Scotty, I think, the way that he's playing right now. But I'm a big Jon Rahm fan, and, you know, it's hard for me to go against him. Rory's got to win one, right? He's got to win at least one more before he's done. I don't know. I'll say Rahm just to be different, but yeah, I think I don't know. I think the Masters every year, there's somebody out of nowhere that just pops up and takes it. Who you got?
I took Victor Hovland.
Okay.
I went between Victor and Brooks Koepka, who had played well last year and then choked at the end, but I decided to go with Victor. I think he's going to get a Masters get a major at some point.
Probably this year, right?
Yeah, you would think the way that he's getting so close. So I like Victor, so I'm kind of with you. I got to go with the guys I like.
There you go.
But yeah, Greg did go with Scotty.
Shocker.
He said chalk. You know, chalk's been what's happened in sports so far, so he had to go with Scotty. All right, Ben, appreciate your time. Great stuff, and have a great call this weekend.
We'll do our best. Thank you.
All right, Ben and Dave will be on the call starting 4:30 pregame coming up on Friday with the 5 o'clock first pitch at Rutgers for Nebraska baseball. Husker fans, check out the new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Back with more of the show coming up after this.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Don't miss out on limited-time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
It's being well supported by a provider who understands your health interests and goals. It's ensuring you are well connected to a team of caregivers and specialists. It's feeling well cared for by having someone you can turn to who sees you for you. That's the power of being well matched. And that's exactly what CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match does. Meet the provider who is right for you at myprovidermatch.com.
Feel like you're always on the run? Me too. As an independent financial professional, I help all kinds of busy people. Young families planning for college, couples working toward retirement, people securing their legacy. Wherever you are in life, Emeritus can help you get more out of life with insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. You're moving fast. Let's help make sure you're on the path to a fulfilling life. Find your next step at Emeritus.com. Insurance products issued by Emeritus Life Insurance Corp.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Not much can be counted on these days, especially getting timely rains. However, having a T&L irrigation system gives you water on demand. This is an insurance policy you pay for once and cash in time and time again. Perfect for all irrigators, T&L irrigation systems don't require complicated, expensive, and dangerous high-voltage electricity. They're driven continuously forward by hydrostatic drives. Take some uncertainty out of farming with an intuitive hydrostatic-powered T&L system. Visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Woodhouse has been delivering you confidence in car buying since 1975. And now we're giving you the convenience of doing it 100% online with Buy Now. Anytime, from anywhere, you can compare hundreds of hand-picked, safety-inspected, pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs that are available to purchase completely online. Shop smarter with personalized, estimated payments on all the inventory. Apply for financing and schedule your driveway delivery all online. Woodhouse, delivering a better way to car buy online with Buy Now.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400. Get those numbers ready to text in for Cole/Duke's Joke of the Week coming up in our final segment. We went long in our first two segments. We're going to keep it short here. But another story I forgot to say earlier when I was talking about my brother's trip to the Masters, which is the sweatshirt that I'm wearing today. So 8 a.m., 7:45, 8 a.m., I start getting these calls from an Augusta number, and I'm like expecting it to be a "you've won a free cruise" call. And then I remembered, oh, wait, my brother's there. They take your cell phones away. You cannot take your cell phones onto the course. And so he's calling me from a payphone, which is free. You just stand up there in line, and then you can call whoever you want. And he's like, you're one of the few people's numbers I had memorized. So he called me from the golf course at Augusta. But kind of stinks you don't have your phone out there to capture any of these moments. But we're seeing some pictures of some pretty neat galleries. And, of course, people following Tiger Woods around Tiger Woods 1 under, tied with my guy, Victor Hovland, my pick for the week. All right, we're going to work in our final break because we got to give Duke time for his Joke of the Week. And Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Duke's Joke of the Week coming up.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Shop smarter online for your next vehicle with Buy Now from Woodhouse. Car buying 100% online from your local trusted auto partner. Easily compare hundreds of hand-picked, safety-inspected cars, trucks, and SUVs features, capabilities, and payments. Conveniently apply for financing and complete your paperwork for purchase 100% online, anytime from anywhere. Plus, we'll deliver it to your driveway. Woodhouse, delivering a better way to car buy online with Buy Now.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground-truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Welcome back. Our final segment of our final show of the week here on Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and we usually reserve this segment for Cole's Joke of the Week. Cole has come under the weather, so he's a little sick, and so we've made a call into the bullpen. Duke is stepping in, so it's Duke's Joke of the Week this week. Duke, what do you got for us?
All right. 3 friends were sitting around one day and decide that they want to be Guinness World Record holders. One guy is very tall, so he's like, you know what, I'm going to apply to be the tallest man in the world. The other guy is very strong, so he says, all right, I'm going to try to be the tallest or the strongest guy in the world. The other guy is very ugly, so he decides he's going to apply to be the ugliest man in the world. A few weeks later, they get the results in the mail. They all get a letter from Guinness World Records. The first guy reads his and says, let's go, I'm the tallest man in the world. The second guy reads his and says, I'm the strongest in the world. The third guy reads his and says, who the heck is Cole Hartman?
Oh, I love it. That's hilarious. Nicely done, Duke. Hey, way to step in. Of course, those ratings will come in, but I got to give you a 10. That's hilarious. I had no idea where you're going with that. That's funny. Crypto already sent in a 10 for filling in for Cole this week. Send those texts in, what you got for Duke, on our Woodhouse Auto Family hotline. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. You got 10s, you got a 9.99. Shane Jensen gives you a 9.99. Ethan gives you a LOL, exclamation point, 10 with a bunch of exclamation points. Doug in Norfolk gives you a 10 as well. Cole has some stiff competition. Funny joke. Oh my gosh, they're rolling in so fast I can't even get to all of them. Doug gives you a 10. Steve gives you a 10. Stephen Bellevue gives you a 10. Husker in Hanover only gives you an 8. Boo. Husker in Hanover on the chat. Drives 10. Sorry, Cole. He got you. Tim in Minnesota is 7.75. So, hey, Duke, what a start for your first time Duke's Joke of the Week. Awesome job. I thought it was hilarious. I give you a 10. So, great job, Duke. Thanks for filling in and helping us out tonight. And we will be back with the full 2 hours coming up on Monday. Enjoy your weekend, Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax,